Hi, thanks for clicking on my video today. Yeah, today's not a great day. I just feel a little bit at low ebb today. I think it's because I've been reflecting on some things in the past. My husband and I paid for videos from way back when our kids were small, and even our wedding video that was on VHS and, those little camcorder tapes. So we paid for it to be put onto a USB unit. And so it was lovely to look back at some of the footage, and some of it just evoked memories that I've just kind of not tried to think about over the years. But unfortunately, it's kind of revived certain feelings and memories that, yeah, I wish that I could just get past. And so the reason I'm doing this video is just to show that a lot of the time the mind forgets, but the body remembers. I know that Gabor Mate says that, and I do like listening to his podcasts and his thoughts because he's got such good advice and experience. But I just feel really emotional, really sort of low. And yeah, I think it's to do with just looking back on those times where, even though I've always made a point of making sure my children are happy and not to show them how I'm feeling inside, I have been the one who's bore the brunt of a lot of the emotions that I was feeling. And I think as women, we do tend to just put others first and kind of just push through, even though we may be crumbling inside. And I think I've done that for many years. And now that I'm 60 this month, August, but yeah, I just want to start afresh and just kind of go past all of that. But I do think it's important to acknowledge and work through it, not just bury it because your body still remembers it. So I've done a lot of research to get to this point. I knew that by the time I got to 60, I wanted to have a lot of head knowledge as to what is survival mode, narcissistic abuse, just different things that have been affecting me. And I just want to get to that point where I can utilize that information to improve. So the next chapter, which is from 60 onwards, and thriving beyond this age, is the reason I want to move on from the way that I have been in the past, which is constantly putting everybody before myself. And I understand as a mum that that is important. If you've got little ones, if you've got children, even teens, they're going through stuff and you need to be there for them. So I'm not talking about that situation. I'm talking about now that your children are older. Of course, you still are there for advice, but you can't really police them too much because they're young adults and they need to make decisions for themselves. But yeah, I just feel that it's my time now. And I know that sounds so cliche, my time. But yeah, it really is because the clock is ticking and there's more behind me than in front of me. And I just wanted to improve from I'd say from the age of 30, I've not been in a good place. I've been, as I've said, in survival mode. I've been putting everyone else ahead of me. And prior to that, I was raised in a household where you did as you were told, and regardless, you don't ask questions, you just get on with it and you say yes, yes, yes. But I found that as soon as I was an adult and I started to have a relationship and me and my husband got married, I felt that saying no was a really bad thing that evoked rage and nastiness and looking back, jealousy. And it was relentless to the point where I just was absorbing it and not really being aware of it until a few years later, looking back. I think I was in my 40s by then. And it started around my um, late 20s, early 30s. And I was just absorbing all of this information, all of this treatment, all this behavior. And in my studies of looking into this myself, I've learned that there's these different stages of survival. So there's fight, flight, freeze, and fawn. And I didn't know about the fawn. I knew about fight, flight, freeze, but fawning is where it reminds me of my dog. It's like when she knows she's done something wrong and you're saying, oh, naughty, shouldn't have done that. She goes on her back and puts her paws up and just kind of acts all really cutesy, and it's kind of a survival mode of, oh, if I do this, you'll leave me alone or you'll be kinder to me. And I think I was doing that for quite a few years and not really knowing it. And yeah, it's kind of just like hit me. Looking back at those memories, I could sort of see in my face I wasn't happy, but I was performing as if like, yeah, everything's fine, everything's wonderful. But inside I was actually mush. So yeah, this video, I just need to really own that, look at that, um, go into my notes and stuff and get the mastery over it. I think that's the best way of putting it. I was journaling, but I just found journaling so triggering, and now I'm understanding why, because I was kind of like digging up feelings that are there that I'd rather not deal with. And I think you do need to deal with them. I've considered therapy, but I've not really gone for therapy. Um, and it's something I may consider in the future. But the pain of loving someone close to you, family members, and just being treated like trash is very difficult to get over. And that's not just on my family that I grew up in, but also my in laws, certain members, not all by any means, but certain members, they have been very challenging. Let's put it that way. Very challenging. And um, I didn't want to put it too much on my husband. So I kind of absorbed that as well. And so we moved away from that situation back to where I was raised. And that's where I fell into the lap of a family member who was really, really broke me down, really broke me down to the point where I was attending A&E with suspected heart attack, and they were just telling me, no, the muscles around your heart are so tense and you're under so much stress that you need to deal with this situation. And I'd never really dealt with it. I did to a degree, and I could probably talk about that on another video. But um, I never forget one of the nurses saying that, no, you're not having a heart attack, but you do know that stress can kill you. And that's when my husband said, you know what, we have to separate ourselves from all this toxicity, because these same people will be putting flowers on your grave. And those two statements really cemented in me the fact that I need to just get away from negativity, get away from negative people who don't mean you any good. They really don't care about you thriving. They don't love you. They don't care about you. And then certain things were happening after that that just kept on solidifying it, but I was putting up with it still. And then one big event happened where I was pulled back in, or hoovered back in is the psychology term, and I did as I was told to do, and then I was done dirty. Just let's put it that way, done dirty. And that was the breaking point, which coincided with the 2020 lockdown. And oh my goodness, I was in such a bad place. Things happened during lockdown that also compounded this as well. But again, I can speak about that in another video. But yeah, it was a tough time because we were all locked down. We were all like not knowing what the future held, what was going on, why, everything was happening. There was so many negative things happening as well with the Black Lives Matter and Sarah Everard. If you're in the UK, you'll know what I mean. So women's safety was paramount importance, as well as black people as well. So I'm both. I'm a woman, I'm a black woman. And just the way people are acting as well. Like I remember being in the shops and I was just standing there with my trolley and I was in the queue and I would have felt if I had impacted on someone. And out of the blue, because this couple in front of me did keep glimpsing round at me, looking me up and down. But again, I didn't know why. Then out of the blue, the guy, he was over 6 foot tall and he was big. And he started shouting at me and saying, if you bump me with your trolley one more time. And I was like, I've not touched you. And he was like, get back, get back. Because, it was all a meter distance. And I was back. I wasn't a meter away, but I was back far enough that I wasn't touching him and I was keeping a distance. Probably I was a meter away. I don't know. I wasn't measuring it. But the way he shouted, and even his wife looked shocked. And I said, I'm not touching you. And I was just frozen. Everyone was looking, and so many people were like looking as if to say, well, what's his problem? But there was so many people under pressure during that time, so many people that were acting out. And for whatever reason, on top of that, the town I live in is a predominantly white town. There was a lot of racist undertones going on as well. And another video, trust me, I went through it during lockdown. And yeah, it's like that was 6 years ago. So March, that was 6 years ago that lockdown started in the UK. And I just felt that I was going through it physically as well, because I got COVID and then I got long COVID and I had this horrendous pain in my back of one of my legs, my left leg. And I kept getting these zapping pads, like electric shocks going through my head. And I just put that down to COVID. Later on, I come to find that it could have been also a symptom of the menopause, which I didn't know I was going through at the time. And I want to cover that as well in this channel. So yeah, I was going through it. I had long COVID. I had to go to a clinic, but it was under telephone consultations only. And I was doing a job where I was working remotely for a NHS trust, a hospital that was miles away from where I lived. And the manager she was so, oh my goodness, she was a crazy woman. And thank goodness the supervisor that I had who worked along with us, he was great. He was a great guy. And he kept me sane. But the fact that I was remote, I had to learn this job on the fly, which I'm really good at doing. That's kind of what I've done most of my career, worked in temporary roles where I can pick up skills really quickly and I don't have to stay longer than the contract allows. That kind of suits me a lot better. But yeah, I was going through that as well. And I had some issues with my son, was going through, he was struggling at the time as well. And yeah, we just wasn't able to go out other than little walks here and there for an hour. So yeah, that impacted me as well. During that time as well, as you can see at the beginning of the channel, I did shave my head and decide to go grey. So that was a preoccupation. I just wanted something to focus on. And so that's what I did. I just thought, right, let me just do this channel on YouTube to do with my grey hair. And then I was just always, as you can see as well, just doing from the chest up, like my photos, because it was about my hair. My weight was just rising and rising. I wasn't focusing on being healthy. I was just focusing on survival. So I've gained quite a bit of weight, which I want to journal how I'm going to be dropping that weight, eating healthier, drinking lots of water, walking every day. And I tell you what, I'm still stuck in, it feels like the sunken place. I feel like I'm stuck in the sunken place. If you know, you know what I mean by that. I just feel that I can't get motivated. So I've come back on this channel. I've left it for quite a while. I keep trying, doing the odd video, doing the odd short, not getting much response, which is also making me feel like, oh, is it any point? But then I thought, no, I am going to document my rise, and I'm going to do it on YouTube. I've also got TikTok and Instagram where I have been putting stuff on there as well, but not really with intention. So I do want to now do it with intention. And the other thing I'm going to say is I'm just going to upload this. I'm not going to edit it. I'm not going to, I may put in some text here and there. I might put in just a canvas of what I'm going to be talking about. I don't know. I'm just rambling, but I tell you what, I feel good for it. I really do, because I needed to. And yeah, there's been other issues as well that I've experienced directed towards my children, and that has taken its toll on me as well. And it's affected me spiritually as well. It really has. So I'm kind of really at a place where the only way is up. And I just love my family. I love my kids very much, and they're amazing children. They really are. My husband's amazing as well. And that's like the apple of my eye. So anyone who comes for them, my words, it really does affect me. So I'm sure there's a lot of you out there that feel the same. But at the moment, I'm just venting, because I just want to see where I've come from. So this is going to be the video. I can see it's 17 minutes. I'm going to ramble for probably up until the 20-minute point. It may be a little less if I do have to, which no, I'm not going to edit. I did say I'm not going to edit any of this out. I'm just going to put it up, and I don't give a toss, mate. Ugh, I don't give a toss what anyone thinks. That's also another reason why I've not been regular on here as well, is because there's certain people in my orbit. I wouldn't say in my life, because I've binned a lot of people. I've done a lot of housekeeping, and I've got rid of a lot of people in my life, but they are, I'm sure, watching. And if they're not, they'll catch up on this video at some point. I couldn't care less what you think. I'm putting this video up for me and for my improvement, because there's a lot of women out there like me who we've shrunk ourselves, fawning again. We shrunk ourselves in order to survive, to make ourselves smaller, to make ourselves more palatable, to make ourselves more likable, because we're people pleasers, and we just want to get through this life with as less stress as possible, and have people treat us as well as we treat them. But trust me, at 60, it's so embarrassing to say it, but you finally find out that no one gives an F about you. They really don't. And you've just got to look out for yourself, and you've just got to do what you need to do for yourself. And yeah, just looking back at those videos, it's just showed me how far I've come, and all the nastiness that was around me that I just kind of put up with, that I'm not going to be doing that anymore. So thank you so much for watching this video. I am going to be posting a lot more now, because I've got to start my fitness, I've got to start my healthy eating plan, and I've just got to start improving myself for the years that I've got left. No one knows how long we have left, and tomorrow's not promised. So I'm definitely going to be improving myself and get myself out of this rut. Yeah, I got bed plats in. I'm growing my hair for the 100th time. That's another thing I kept doing, shaving my head. When I'm feeling low and rough and stressed, I tend to take it out on my hair. So that's not going to happen anymore. But yeah, follow along and you'll see my journey, because I am committed to getting a lot more out. And sorry for the background noise if you can hear it. But yeah, I'm just going to put this video out, and it's going to be, I'm venting. I'm just venting. So thanks for watching.